Hey everybody, John Georgievich here with Job Interview Tools. I recently learned something new about interviewing for jobs. Apparently, there are these 5 magic words that you can say at the end of a job interview, and it will compel your interviewer to offer you the job on the spot. It's a very powerful technique, and in this video, I'm going to tell you what those 5 words are, how I discovered them, and more importantly, how you can apply them to your interviews to get that result, to get interviewers to offer you the job. So before we dive right into that, if you like my channel, you like the kinds of things I'm doing here, and you want to get notified every time I release a new video, please subscribe. And after watching this video, if you find it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. So back to those 5 words. A couple of weeks ago, I was having a cup of coffee at Starbucks with the CEO of a very high-end executive search placement firm. They're actually ranked one of Inc. magazine's fastest growing companies. So me and Robert are sitting down and we're having a cup of coffee at Starbucks and we're just swapping stories about interviewing and hiring and stuff like that. And then he leans into me and he goes, "Don, there's just one thing I wish job candidates would do at the end of an interview. And my clients wish they would do it too. And if they did it, would just give them the job." He says, all they got to do is ask for the job. And I'm like, really? That's it? Just 5 words? Can I have the job? He's like, yeah. He says, but nobody does it. People are afraid to do it. They think it's too pushy. But from our end, we want to know if they really want the job. And this helps us understand if they really want it. All they got to do is ask for it. My clients wish they would do it. I wish they would do it. But hardly anybody does it. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing because I've actually done that before in job interviews when I used to interview. But I didn't really even realize it was a technique. I just felt like in the moment that it was right to ask for the job, and so I did. And I usually got it when I did. But I want to share this with you as a technique, a strategy that you can use at the end of your interview so that, maybe that'll give the employer that nudge that they need to offer you the job. Now you might be thinking, Don, how does the CEO of one of the fastest growing companies have time to meet with you? Well, I'll tell you, their offices are in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. So I kind of just reached out to them when I noticed that they were one of the fastest growing companies in America and asked to just meet with them. And so we had a little chat. So the bigger question is, how can you apply this? How can you apply those 5 words in your job interviews? Now, I'll tell you, you can't just walk into a job interview and say, "Can I have the job?" Because that doesn't work. I mean, maybe for some jobs today, right now, because of the way the market is, but, for the most part, you can't just walk in and say, "Can I have the job?" That doesn't work. You have to be in rapport with your interviewer. That means you have to have worked your way through the conversation. You have to have shown them that if they hired you, you could offer them real value. And like I said, you have to be in rapport with your interviewer all throughout the interview. That means when you get to the end of the interview, both of you are kind of feeling like, there's a match. There's a potential match there. And just to use a dating reference, because I love making dating references with job interviewing because the parallels are just so spot on. I mean, think about a time when you went out on a date with someone and you started off, you picked the person up, maybe you went out to dinner, maybe you went out to a movie, maybe you went for a walk on the beach. You kind of build rapport all throughout the evening. Maybe you reach out and you hold their hand. Maybe you smile at them. And then, after a whole evening of building rapport, at the end, maybe you go in for a kiss. And maybe you get it and maybe you don't. But you're not going to go in for that kiss unless you're in rapport with that other person. I mean, if you guys just butted heads all night long, or there was just a lot of friction, a lot of uneasiness, then you're not going to go in for the kiss. You're not going to go in for the hand holding. A job interview is the same way. The kiss is asking for the job. Can I have the job? Those 5 simple words. But like I said, you gotta build up to it. And to build up to it, you have to show them that you're really interested in what they're doing. You're interested in the job, you're interested in the opportunity, you're interested not maybe just in the job, but in the company as a whole. Maybe you're interested in the kinds of things that they are doing as a company. And you show them that you want to be a part of that. You show them that you're like-minded. You show them that you fit in with their culture. You show them that you're one of them. And when you can build this up all the way, now it might not happen. It might not happen on the first interview. I mean, it's happened to me on the first interview, way back when, one of the first jobs I ever interviewed for. After 2 hours of interviewing, bam, it just clicked. It's like we just felt like, we were right for each other. And, I went on and I worked there for a few years. Other jobs, it's taken me maybe 2 or 3 or even 4 interviews before we could reach that level where we felt comfortable, taking that step. I felt comfortable asking for the job. Now, you might be thinking, Don, that is just absolute ridiculous. I've asked for the job before, I didn't get it. Or that's not going to work. And you know what? It's not going to work every single time, even if you are in rapport. I've known many candidates before who've gone through the whole process who were, just tops, just total tops. They were a top 2 pick easily. And they didn't get a job. It just didn't happen. They just, things at the last minute just didn't click. And if you tried it, it might not work. If you tried it 2 times, it might not work. But I'll tell you this, let me give you this challenge. Go out, before you come back and say, Don, that's BS, that doesn't work, go out and try it 10 times. Go on 10 interviews, 10 different companies, and that are real interviews, not just, you're just showing up and you're just kind of wishy-washy, you're not really qualified for the job. Go on 10 interviews where you're really qualified for the job, and then ask for it. I'm willing to bet that if you did that on 10 different job interviews, you would get the job at least 3 to 4 times out of 10. 3 to 4 out of 10. That's a 30 to 40% success rate. That is huge. Now, some of you folks, in other parts of the world, you might be thinking, oh, you guys are crazy over there in America. You guys are so bold. You're so brash. You're just out there in the face asking, for the job. That's ridiculous. That would never work over here. We're way too polite. We would never do that. Well, have you tried? Have you tried? I mean, there's a way to do this so that it doesn't seem pushy. And like I said, you have to be in rapport with your interviewer. That means you guys are building a little relationship along the way. And when you get to the end, let's say you're in Great Britain and you folks over there across the pond are very polite and you would never ask for the job. Give it a try. Just when you get to the interview and you're totally in rapport with that interviewer and you're like, hey, I really think that I could be of great value to you here. And I really like the kinds of things that you're doing. Would you be interested in taking the next step? Can I have the job? Give that a try. And what's going to happen? What's the worst that's going to happen? They might say no. They might say, I don't know. They might say yes. So right there, you got a 30% chance. So the magic words are, can I have the job? But like I said, you don't want to just ask, can I have the job? You want to build up to that level. And you want to start off with a closing statement. That's really the best way to work those words into your interview is in a closing statement. And that's where you kind of summarize everything that happened in the interview. You talk about, well, I really like the kinds of things that you're doing. I'm very interested in this project. I'm really interested in the kinds of things. I'm really impressed. Be impressed with them. Really impressed with the kinds of things you're doing here. And I'd like to be a part of that. And I think I could make a valuable contribution. Can I have the job? It's as simple as that. That's all you got to do, my friend. And that's all I got for you today. Now, to help you go that little bit further on your next interview, because they're going to ask you a whole bunch of different questions, and I want you to have good answers for their questions. And that's how you get in rapport with your interviewer, is by giving them good answers that reveal a lot about you. And I want to give you my brand new book. I just finished this book. It is got the top 10 interview questions and answers in it. And it's going to tell you how to answer Tell Me About Yourself. It's going to walk you through the process. There's a process to answering Tell Me About Yourself. It's this little 3-step process, and I cover that in here. Another question I cover in here is, why do you want to work here? And your weakness questions. And this also has about 12 questions that you can ask your interviewer. Now, you don't want to ask your interviewer just any question just because I have it in this book. You don't want to ask that question. You only want to ask them questions that will help you decide if you want to work for them or not. Those are the kinds of questions you ask your interviewer. And in this little book, I guide you right through that. And this is free. This is my gift to you just for watching this video today. And if you head on over to jobinterviewtools.com/top10, put your name, email, address in there. Tell me where to send this book. I will get you the PDF version out instantly, just like that. And it will start preparing you for your next interview so that you can build that relationship, build that rapport with your interviewer, so that when you get to the end of the interview, and if you feel it's right, if you feel that this job is right for you and you really believe that they could benefit from having you there, then ask for the job. And if you don't feel comfortable saying, can I have the job, then don't say it. Don't do anything in a job interview that makes you feel uncomfortable. Just because I tell you here, these are the things you should do, only do them if they feel right for you. Only do them if they make sense for you. If you're terrified of going into a job interview and saying, can I have the job? And you kind of just show up and you're like, can I have the job? Don said I should ask. You're not going to go anywhere. That's a total failure. You want to be comfortable asking for the job. And you should be. Just like, if you were on a date, you should feel comfortable reaching out for the other person's hand to hold it. Well, maybe you're a little nervous for that, but you build up that comfort level. You reach out and you hold their hand. And you have conversations. You build rapport all throughout the evening, and then you go in for the kiss. And you've been on dates before where maybe you didn't feel like, going in for the kiss, and you didn't. And maybe you regretted it, maybe you didn't. But on a job interview, if you go out there and you have a really good interview and you don't ask for the job, I can almost guarantee you that you're going to regret it. You're going to go home and you'll be like, dang, I wish I'd have just asked for the job. Don said I should have asked for it. I should have just asked for it, but I was just too nervous. Try again next time. But build up to it. Don't just go in and ask for it. Ease into it and be comfortable asking it. You don't want to ask it in a nervous way, and you don't want to just say, can I have the job? Build the rapport. Ease into it. Work it into your closing statement where you summarize the interview, you summarize the position, you summarize the things that you've done. And then you go in and you calmly and confidently ask for the job. All right, my friend, that is all I have for you today. I wish you the very best on your next interview. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to get notified every time I release a new video, please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye now.